Writing Summit 3.0. We are very excited to have you here today, and we'll get going here in just a second. Just a couple of quick notes before we begin. Keep in mind that the AI Writing Summit 3.0 is brought to you by High Level. And not only will we have two special presentations, one called the AI Powered Community Building and the other called the AI Blueprint Turning Customers into Raving Fans, both hosted by Emma Jackson, the Senior Manager of Product Marketing over there at High Level. And look for those in your dashboard, by the way. But there's also going to be a live raffle on Friday midday, tomorrow midday, and you could win a brand new Apple iPad. So it's free to attend, but you do need to register to attend. So Elisa, sorry, Elisa, we were just talking about Elisa's name. Elisa has put the link in the chat box there. And so go ahead and click on that and get registered for that. And don't miss it. And then also don't forget to grab your copy of the AI Writing Summit 3.0 Gold Pass. It'll give you lifetime access to all of the recordings and transcripts for the entire summit, including both the keynote interviews and the panel discussions, as well as the special presentations I just mentioned. Plus, you'll get over $6,000 worth of courses, masterclasses, workshops, prompt engineering tutorials, and a whole bunch of other resources, all for less than you probably spent at Starbucks last month. If you listen to some of the keynote interviews, I mentioned in there that we had $4,500 worth of stuff in that Gold Pass. It has grown since we did the interviews, so now there's well over $6,000 worth of courses and master classes and everything else in that Gold Pass. So Elisa has put the link in the chat box as well. So grab that, go ahead and click on that and grab your Gold Pass before life gets in the way. And so today we're going to take about 45 minutes and do a deep dive into Crystal Ball Publishing using AI to predict and ride market trends. And so this cross-industry panel here is going to explore how AI tools are revolutionizing the earliest stages of creative work, ideation, and problem solving. So let's meet our panelists. First up, we have, excuse me, we have Christine Blosdale. She is the Expert Authority Coach, a 5-time #1 best-selling author and award-winning media personality with over 25 years of experience in branding, podcasting, and visibility strategy. Christine helps entrepreneurs and coaches master their message, magnetize their brand, and become the go-to authority in their niche. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next up, we have Kenny Perry. Kenny is an organic mindset agency, and he specializes in AI-powered automated websites and excels in branding, offering a holistic digital marketing strategy, and the agency's innovative use of AI technology streamlines website development, while its expertise in branding ensures business craft a unique identity that resonates with their audience.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome, Kenny.
Thank you.
Welcome in.
Thanks,
And then
Terry.
Martin Bodeker is also here after losing 2 jobs last year. Sorry, Martin. Martin Bodeker used AI and a forgotten 5-minute habit from a lost 50-year-old success manual, by the way, that quietly sold over 3 million copies without ever hitting a bookstore, to write and sell a book in just 28 days, silencing his inner chaos engine and taking consistent action without any mental blocks, fear, or self-sabotage. Welcome, Martin.
Yeah, hello. Great to be here.
Awesome. So let's jump right in. What I'm going to do is just throw out a question and then we'll get a take from each of you. First question is, what AI analytics tools do you use? What are your favorite tools to track and predict market movements? Christine, can we get a take from you on that?
I tend to use ChatGPT quite a bit. I have the paid version upgraded to that. But I also created my own Expert Authority Coach plugin. So I have my own vision in ChatGPT, and basically I fed that particular model with a lot of my content through the books that I've written, some of the webinars and workshops, and so I'm able to take a look at, and when I ask questions about my clients, what their potential pain points might be and how I can help them, it is all filtered through my lens. So I tend to use that quite a bit. And I also share that with my clients so that they can also take the expert authority coach route, so to speak, through ChatGPT. But I find it's obvious in anybody who's been dabbling with AI, it's so much in the prompts that you give and being really, really specific. So I sometimes become overly specific, but I find that that's where I get the best results. And so ChatGPT is my favorite thing, but I do like I said, the plugin.
Yeah, we'll talk more about prompts here as we get going here, but and that is a plugin and not an agent or a GPT. Is that correct?
It is. It's a GPT within
GPT.
ChatGPT.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. And then so Kenny, let's get a take from you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's a few different softwares that I tend to use. Obviously, ChatGPT, the paid version as well. And then again, it's really prompting the AI to really get an understanding of how you want it to really work, and working on the back end and really giving it an understanding of what you do. Another AI program I like to work with a lot is Nowsight as well. The Nowsight AI Premium as well. I like to program that to really make sure that one, it understands my branding. Two, it understands my ICP, my ideal client profile, and three, it really allows the workflow in terms of what I'm inputting in as prompts to really make sense in terms of creating the right messaging, whatever it may be for, whether it's a strategy, whether it's a workflow, whether it's, anything along those lines, a framework. It just really, really makes things work perfectly to how I like it because I tailored it.
And it's called the Nowsight. Sorry, I've never heard of
Nowsight. Yeah, Nowsight's another one I use.
Awesome. Okay. I'll look that up.
Mhm.
Thank you. And Martin, let's find out what you have to say on this.
For me, it's really about figuring out first what I want to use the AI for, and then actually use the AI to ask the right question. So for the tool that I'm using is a tool called Typing Mind, which is an AI wrapper that allows you to plug into the APIs of Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT. And so you can even compare the different models, the different outputs, use the strengths, but all in the same chat, or fork the chat or go deeper onto some issues. But other than that, what I really like about is thinking what worked in the past before I even ask AI about market trends or things like this, really figuring out what worked in the past, and then how can I use AI to amplify what worked in the past, because human psychology specifically has not changed. It has not evolved. People still want basically the same things they wanted 30 or 50 years ago, but now we can get so much better quality answers and use AI to make so much better decisions if we know how to prompt and how to ask the right questions. So as a summary, basically, what I think one of the key skills we can have right now, or anybody can have, is the ability to ask better questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So let's do a little bit more of a drill down. So how do you analyze reader and/or customer behavior patterns using AI, and what insights have you found to be most valuable, Christine?
Oh, there's a couple different ways, and sometimes it doesn't even it doesn't have to do necessarily with AI. It's the tools that I use, and there's different tools that I use to see the engagement that I get from my audience, from warm leads, let's put it that way, from potential clients. And so I use different tools to help me to guide that. I find that the productivity tools, like let's say Video to Blog or Opus Clips, helps a lot. Descript helps me as well. But with Video to Blog, I'm able to repurpose content. And when I repurpose that content, I'll float it out to my audience to see if they're interested in it. If there's an interest in it, then I will take it a next step and take the webinar, workshop, the speaking event that I've done, or podcast episodes, and I convert it from video to a readable blog or chapter in a book, and then I'll create books from it to feed to the audience. So for the longest time, I was, it was all about podcasting, create your podcast for your business, create your podcast for your business. And then I actually started listening to the pain points. I started listening to what the audience really needs. And it's not a podcast. It's not, not everybody wants to create a podcast or has the ability to. But what they really needed help with was with their branding and social media. So I was able to take AI and focus in on that subject. And that's how I created this book, because I am not a writer, I'm a talker. And so I'm able to use AI and focus in on the most important pain points of my potential clients and audience through that. So that's how I'm creating all these books, actually.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. And Kenny, let's get a take from you on that.
Yeah, can you just ask the question one more time if you don't mind, please?
Yeah, so it's how do you analyze reader and or customer behavior patterns using AI, and what insights have you found to be most valuable?
Yeah, I find that very subjective, because the main reason why it's because it really depends on the industry, depends on the potential client, depends on who the potential lead is, depends on their overall goal. So like for instance, depending on the industry, it really just determines on who their ideal client profile is, also how they measure metrics, how they measure KPIs, what their overall goal is. And then that gives a better understanding of how to really measure these things. So for instance, if you're somebody who deals with coaches a lot, you're going to look at something that's going to be very instructive. You're going to look at something that's going to be very, very detail orientated, because therefore coaches, for instance, I'm using coaches as an example, they want to make sure that one, any type of messaging they do is clear, it's concise, and it has to make sure that it really, really gets across very quickly. Like within the first 30 seconds, people have to understand exactly what it is that's being done. Now, on the flip side of that, what I find really works is studying really, really like the market in terms of, how people react to things, and then putting strategies in place that make sense predicated on that particular niche.
Okay, thank you. And Martin.
For me, it's a little bit the other way around to what Christine said. For me, currently, like I'm big with SEO and search engine optimization, and I like to write a really long blog posts. So in the past, and reviews for different softwares and tools like this, like Go High Level and all the other funnel builders and so forth. And in the past, a blog post, I outsourced the actual writing process to a real writer, and it would cost me about $200. And now basically I have a prompt, I just give it the input, and I get this done in if I like in an hour or something. And what's really cool right now is with the latest update of Notebook LM, I can then take all the written content that I have and create podcasts and videos from the content that I've written. So I can target different long-term different longer keywords that are really specific. So that's really cool that now Notebook LM, which is a fantastic software, can create actual like really good podcasts that you can listen to, so audio content, and also now slide decks with narration. So that's really cool if you want to take your blog post or written content and turn it back into video. So it always depends on what you like most. So it works one way, like turning audio or video into longer form written books and a blog post, but the other way around works as well these days.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk more about prompting. How deeply into prompt engineering have you guys gotten? Do you create a big old huge prompt and then put that into an AI platform, or do you just talk to the platform and just tell it what you need? And how detailed and specific do you get with prompts? So, Christine, let's start with you.
I think it depends on the AI software that I'm using, because every single one has a different personality, a different way that it likes to work. I find too, like with ChatGPT, it's brilliant on certain things, right? It already knows very much my style and everything. I usually predicate it with in any sort of prompt. If it's coming from me, if it's messaging that's coming from me, I always feed it the content. I don't allow it necessarily to create something new for me. I like to take something that I already have and enhance it in some way. But I'm always saying, knowing who I am, Christine Blosdale, the expert authority coach, and then I go on with the prompt. If it is like with ChatGPT, it's fabulous for written content. When it comes to actually coming up like with any graphics or anything that I want to use in presentation, it sucks. I mean, I'm not a fan of seven fingers, and lettering and words. It looks like gobbledygook. So I've discovered that beautiful Gemini is fantastic. I've been using Gemini as well just to enhance the articles that I've been writing and enhance the work that I do, because all written word is great and powerful and important, but we do need to have that visual eye candy. So I've been using Gemini for that, and then also Gamma AI as well for creating those presentations. But when it comes to prompts, it's really about massaging it. I like to think of myself as a really successful director. And take a director in Hollywood that you think is really successful. I won't name drop anybody, but what I'm saying is that I like to be like a director, and that director is saying, zoom in close up on, so and so is happening right now. That's how I am with my direction on ChatGPT. Even though it does know me really well, I'm still sort of guiding it through every single thing, and I'm always saying to it, how does this benefit the people that I serve? How does this benefit my clients? How does this benefit my audience? And then it comes back with some really nice things instead of just trying to make you feel better.
Right.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you. Kenny, how about you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, when it comes to prompting, for me, it really just comes down to being as descriptive as possible when I'm given individual prompts. So again, when I use NowSite, that's a software that I use quite a bit, and I use like ChatGPT. I want to be as descriptive as possible because, so there's certain keywords that when it comes to entering it into AI that triggers certain types of responses. So for instance, if I'm prepping to meet with someone and I'm preparing a presentation and I want to dive deep into metrics, I want to make sure that certain terminology that's implemented into the system is being broken down to where they're able to see, like, okay, this is how certain KPIs are measured and whatnot as I'm preparing a presentation to show this is going to be the ROI on whether you're running an SEO campaign, whether you're running online ads, whatever it may be. I want to make sure that the prompts that I enter in the system are as detailed and descriptive as possible, but also predicated to that industry. Because again, like, we do niche down, but a lot of the time I'm able to get clients that are from different niches and different industries that reach out, and it just makes sense to work with them in terms of the strategies we're going to implement. I mean, there are, in terms of when we build out our AI powered sites, in terms of what we do, in terms of how we design it, but at the same time we want to make sure that the certain words that really make sense to really give the right prompts that will actually make, whether it's creating a post, whether it's creating a video presentation, that really ties everything together essentially. So it really just comes down to being as descriptive and detailed as possible. That really gives a distinction to the type of results you're going to get from the prompts that you enter into the system essentially.
Yeah. Kenny, how much human editing and finalization do you have to do on those AI generated sites?
Yeah, it's a great question. A lot of people ask that question, and I feel that in today's day and age, something is small, and I know a lot of people don't do this, but it's something that I realize when it comes to using AI, you can just be like, yeah, use a more informal approach or informal response, or use a formal response, and it's able to pick up the type of response that you want based on the type of language and tone that you want to use. I mean, sometimes it'll write very formal, but it's more of a, satirical, informal post that you want to have. So they, as it gets written out, and then you're like, no, change the tone, make it less formal. And then if they makes it less formal, so then you have to really juggle in between, okay, something that's written as a, let's say, for instance, somebody is applying for a job, or, somebody that's writing a very formal letter, as opposed to somebody that's emailing their buddy. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to find the line and find a distinction to really enter the spots to figure out really where you can, navigate it to really give the type of response and the type of language that you want to use.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Martin, let's get a take from you on prompting.
Okay, so I did two things. One was first to really figure out which tone of voice do I want to have. So I went back and let ChatGPT analyze the old newsletters from Gary Halbert because these were written really, really well, really conversational, and that's how I like to write as well. So
One
I
of the
figured
world's
out the tone
foremost
of
direct
voice of Gary
response
Halbert, and
marketers.
now I have my
Yes.
Gary Halbert Buttercar style, so to speak. And then I follow when I whatever I need a specific prompt for, I follow the framework which is called Craft M, which stands for and I have to look this up because I forget this. I created basically a prompt generator assistant, and this is basically follows the model of context, role, the action, the format of the output, and then the target audience. And the last part, the M, is for motivation. So the AI and LLM give a little better if you just say to it like you will get $200 extra as a tip if you're doing this really well. So it will produce a little bit better output for that. But the other things I are pretty standard right now. I think with giving it the right context, the right role, like you are an experienced copywriter, so on and so forth. And then also like if you want to have an assistant and a prompt that works like again and again, you want to specify the exact output that you want to have and give some examples.
Awesome. Thank you. Let me ask you guys this. How much do you worry about copyright? And I'm talking both from the aspect of putting your stuff out there, but also the aspect of using stuff from AI that you're not sure where it came from. Um, Christine, how much do you worry about that kind of thing?
I don't worry that much about it because number one, when it comes to the information that I'm getting, I don't I don't rely on it to tell me the truth because it can lie.
Right.
And you'd have to fact check every single thing, and that would take, ridiculous amounts of time. I use it more for enhancing the work that I do instead of creating new content and just taking it, for granted that, oh, that's all correct. I will if I need to really challenge something that is, let's say I'm looking for a statistic about podcast shows, right? How many people, how many episodes is it that people go and create before they quit? The on average. And so I'll ask for these different statistics. And what I'll do is I'll pit some of the stronger ChatGPT, like stronger AIs against each other. And basically what I'll do is I'll say, I'll ask ChatGPT a very specific question about success rate of podcast creators. And it'll give me an answer. And then I'll go over to Perplexity and I'll say, hey, buddy, ChatGPT over here told me this statistics about how many episodes before somebody usually quits podcasting, in the majority, and I'll pit them against each other a little bit, and I'll find out what Perplexity says, and then I'll ask them, of course, to bring the sources in. But I don't use it that often. When I do, I like to pit them against each other to see if it's close to the same kind of information, and I'll ask it to reveal its sources and things like that. But for the most part, I just use it to enhance my work. I'll write the copy. I'll, if it's a program or something like that, I'll write it out and then I'll throw it in and I will say, please take a look at this. And if there's anything that I've missed in a pain point, or if it's not clear, please bring up those points to me, and then I can choose if I want to, input that and put it into the program. So, yeah, I don't use it as my as the truth because again, it can lie.
No.
You know
Awesome.
this. We talked about this before,
Right.
right?
Yeah. So it's amazing how much it can blow smoke.
Yeah.
And so, Kenny, how do you feel about copyright stuff?
Copyright stuff's important. So, like what I do, I have a copywriter in house when it comes to writing out content. So, therefore, whether we use AI to obtain information, the final publishing of the content that takes place is done from a human element that takes it and revamps it and tweaks it. So therefore, not worried about plagiarization, therefore not worried about, just taking something and copy and pasting directly from AI. It's always being oversaw by a human element. And I feel that that's important because, it's a lost art in today's day and age, right? Because I mean, you could tell right away if you get an email coming in, if somebody speaks with a language that sounds like it's from like the medieval times, that, it's probably AI, right? So it's like
Right.
you really got to really decipher between how people actually speak, whether it's on a professional level or whether it's on an informal level or whether it's on a day-to-day level, or if it's a machine that's producing something that sounds like it's from 1781. So, you really have to really decipher the difference between that. And I always feel just making sure that human element is implemented into it is very, very crucial. And because again, it's being able to make sure that, because there's some words that'll be on there and it's like, and people in today's modern English don't really speak that way. So it's really
Yep.
being able
Oh,
to
yeah.
distinguish the differences between that and having a last look at from a human element. That is really, really, really important as you proofread it. I mean, you can use AI to proofread it and then have a human look at it and then proofread it again through AI and then, you're good to go. So I
Yeah.
think having maybe 2 to 3 levels of revision is very, very, very crucial.
Yeah. We do that. We use it a lot to write emails, but nothing ever goes out to the public until a human has, until it's passed by a human. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we never just copy and paste and send out. So, Martin,
Yeah,
how
Carrie,
about you?
I've
Oh,
had to
go ahead.
correct it too many times when they've started off with the world renowned Christine Blosdale, and I'm like, come on now.
I know.
I-
Yeah, and yeah, it'll. We had a person on earlier today that was talking about, because I've said this all the time, that AI can hallucinate, um, and it's true. It can give you all kinds of crap. But she was saying, and I thought this was really brilliant, was she was saying that, listen, if it's hallucinating, it's not its fault. It's your fault. It's
Mm,
it's the garbage in, garbage out situation, right? If it's giving you something weird, you need to look at yourself and what you've given it, because
yeah.
it's just giving them back to you the way it thinks you want it, right? So I thought that was brilliant. And so Martin, let's to get a take from you on copyright stuff.
Okay, so my take on this is you should actually know what you're writing about and then reference the original source. It makes you more credible. It shows that you have done your work, you did your research, and it will also enhance your position as an expert. So when you know what you're writing about, you should know the facts, the theory, the whatever is the context, and then I think what's really important, and because information is abundant, what's really important is that you add your personal spin on it, your personal story, your personal experience. So the content that you create becomes in one way or form relatable.
Okay, cool. Um, and so you guys, can you share an example where just like we are just talking about, where AI market analysis was wrong, and what you learned about that, and how you fixed it? Christine?
I don't use it I use all of my AI tools mostly for creativity, for creating stuff, right? So
Uh,
not even so much about finding out what the market is thinking. Also, my clientele is a very specific niche. 99% are women in business, coaches, consultants, authors, creatives, all those type of service oriented people. So
well, let me ask you
I
this
don't,
then.
yeah.
How do you um, what's the best way that you use to to use it to enhance your creativity?
On those things that I don't like to do, I allow it to do. So like I was talking about, like I've got 5 best-selling books, right? And I write newsletters and blogs, but I do not like to write. Okay. If I see a blank white piece of, a Word doc, I'm just like, bleh. So my skill set and my expertise is in speaking. And because I've been doing it for so many years, right? Broadcast journalism for 20 years, podcast for 10 years, coaching, all that stuff. So where I'm able to communicate and get my ideas across and excite people about working with me is through speaking. So I'm able to take certain AI programs and take that content and repurpose it into books, blogs, programs, all those different things. So that's how I work. And that to me is a way to draw in my clientele, right? As opposed to doing market analysis about how many women are in business and they need this. I already know the pain points of people at this point, because they're my pain points. It's the same things that I struggle with, my clients struggle with. So I'll use the important stuff of using like video to blog, where I take my content that I've already created by speaking in webinars, workshops, podcast episodes, turn that into readable, enjoyable articles, blogs, chapters in a book, all those different things, modules in a course. I can create that. And then I utilize, of course, Descript as well, because it's brilliant at taking away all your uhs and ums and making sure that the video content too that you pump out is clear and concise as well. So I'm the repurpose queen. I like to take stuff that I do when I'm excited and I'm on stage performing, take that and turn it into other material. So as far as using it as market analysis, I don't use it that much, but I'm interested to see possibly Kenny and definitely Martin. I feel like he would be using it more for market analysis.
Yeah. And so, Kenny, actually there has been a question come in from one of the listeners for you. It says, Kenny, give me a few names of software that takes GPT content to humanize it, to make content unique, even though the GPT provided the content. I'm not quite sure exactly what they're asking. Here, he explains it further. Let's say I write a book chapter about Let's say I write a book chapter about Google Docs and using Notebook LM. I just copied what Google said step by step. Do you just reference the source at the end of the GPT or bibliography? What's the best way to list a source? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I believe I kind of understand that. So yeah, I guess let me just start from the beginning once again. So like when I
Okay.
stated before, I said like, whether I'm using GPT or NowSite or any other, software that I'm using, whether it's Perplexity or whatnot. A lot of the time when we create the content, I have an in-house content writer that goes and reviews it afterwards and obviously goes through and checks everything and writes it out to have more of a human element to it because a lot of the time, like especially when we do our sites and stuff, we do a lot of research on, that we look up, whether it's through credible sources or whatnot, to really get a better understanding of, you know, if it makes sense to write it a certain way that speaks to their audience. So you have to really understand tone, you have to understand their audience. And then, when I do a lot of my research, like, yeah, okay, I could use GPT, but at the same time, it's really finding credible sources from critical articles where I can really go in and be like, okay, how does this industry measure their metrics? How does this industry measure their KPIs? So therefore, I'm fully equipped before I go into a sales meeting to understand exactly how to potentially speak their language on a very high level overview. So it really comes down to just some research, like yeah, you can use GPT, but at the same time, it's always good to, use just, simple old Google to really connect and understand, okay, if these make sense and if it really matches up. So it really takes time to really take the time to put in to when it comes to researching the, whether the facts are on there to see if it really makes sense
Yeah.
and it ties together because it's extremely important and it's crucial. But like I said before, I don't use the software necessarily to, check or the writing and everything like that. It's simple GPT after it's, reviewed by my content writer and then it's reviewed again. So it goes through about 2 or 3 levels of revision before something gets posted.
Yeah. So when you're doing research like that and or analysis, how do you keep it from how do you make sure that it's true and real world and that it's not lying to you or hallucinating?
So like, yeah,
Um,
so like, are you
Ask
talking to
it.
me or is this, sorry, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Ask it if it's lying. Are you lying to me, ChatGPT?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I do
It's,
that all the time. I just flat tell it, don't lie to me, don't blow smoke, don't tell me it's good, don't tell me I'm great. Just give me the real world stuff, right?
Love that.
Yeah,
And
I tell it
one
that
of
all
the
the time.
things that is important, which you mentioned earlier, is garbage in, garbage out. So you really need to know what to give the right context and the right, the right content to train the chat before you're asking the question, so it has the context. And if you have a good knowledge base, a PDF or whatever it is, the reference material, then it will typically not have any hallucinations or things like this, or very minimal things like this. So it always comes down to the context that you provide and set the clear boundaries when you start the chat.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Let's do a bit of a lightning round. Give me your favorite platform or platforms, Christine.
I've got them written down right in front of me, and I know I'm missing some as well. So, okay, of course, ChatGPT with my own plugin. I like that. Expert Authority Coach. Gamma AI, I love because I can do presentations, but also you can create websites, AI generated websites as well. Opus Clips, because you could take your video content and make great viral videos for TikTok, YouTube. Descript, I utilize not as an editor for my content, but Descript, I do like to get rid of those filler words, repeated words, and then
Mm-hmm.
also it is really, really good at giving you ideas and doing highlight clips as well, but giving you summaries. So when you post video on content on YouTube, it helps you with a really nice description and it breaks it down in chapters. So it does a lot of work.
Wow, yeah, we use Descript as well.
Yeah.
Kenny, how about you? What are your favorite platforms?
Yeah, there's some of them that she had mentioned that I'm definitely familiar with and use, like GPT again, the pro version of GPT. Opus Clip as well is great. Gamma's really really good, and Now Site, which I had mentioned before, Perplexity. Those are just some of the different softwares that I do like. Also, like a lot of the ones that were already previously mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Martin, how about you?
For me, it's definitely Typing Mind, where I can use all the different models. Personally, I most use Gemini because of personal preference with the output for the stuff that I write. Descript, obviously, for videos, and now for turning written posts into podcasts and or AI generated podcasts and overviews. I really like Notebook LM from Google as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Uh, let's talk about the future, guys. Where do you see us going with AI here in the next couple of months and or, out as far as a year or so? Christine, what do you think?
Well, in the writer's sphere realm, I think the voice recognition is going to get much better. It was for the longest time you could have a book narrated by some AI digitized voice, and it didn't sound very good. It didn't capture emotion, and then they clone your voice as well, and it takes a long time to input that information, to sit there and do the audio recording for that so it can capture your voice. And even with that, it's still very, it feels like a ghost. It's your voice, but it's not you. So I think that technology is going to get better and better, which will be which will be wonderful for authors who want to create, let's say, audiobooks and things like that on a mass scale. The problem is that there's going to be some things that we see on social media that we're not going to know if it's real or not. It's going to be it'll be a video, and it'll be, could be Obama doing something, or and we won't know because it's like it looks so real and
They're
it
having
sounds
problems with
so
that
real.
right now, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
it's gonna get even more, I think,
yeah,
with the technology. Yeah.
yeah. There's been some stuff out there where people are going, wait, is that, you know, in the U.S. political scene and stuff, it's getting pretty weird.
Yeah.
Um, and so, Kenny, what about you? Where do you see us going in the next several months to a year?
Yeah, something that I think's that's gonna definitely take over fairly soon is, you're starting to see a lot of like videos with like artists that are dead that are just appearing and they're just walking around and stuff like this. Like you'll see a Tupac hanging out with Kurt Cobain video, or
Yeah.
you'll see like, you'll see for instance like Elvis Presley hanging out with Marvin Gaye, and it's if you're seeing these personalities and likeliness that's happening in these videos, it's just I think in the future you're going to start to see because there are artists that have passed away where there's albums that have come out afterwards. I think from a music aspect, you're going to start seeing artists that like basically AI generated music. I think that's going to be something that's going to be the next thing. So there's going to be that.
Right.
I think that, even making recommendations, like think about realtors, for instance, realtors being able to come up with like, okay, this is the right property for this type of person based off of their personality. So like when I think deeper into it and where things are going, I think, the sky's the limit when it comes to AI because you're just going to see all these different things happening. Or, what's my personality? Okay, this should be my favorite sports team based off of my personality. So,
Right.
these are things that I'm thinking that when I go, let's think even 5, 10 years ahead, even further than the next 6 months to a year, where you're really going to start to see things really be completely automated and completely, recommended based off of AI.
Okay. And Martin, how about you?
Yeah, I think definitely video and audio capabilities will get much better. We will see movies completely created with AI. We will see virtual actors essentially in major movies, at least like for the side positions, not the main characters probably, but some characters that are completely AI created. Same with the gaming industry, which will be huge. I really look forward to the impact of AI in that industry. But other than that, like it will just be part of everyone's life. I think there's still a huge part of the population which just has a really basic understanding of what AI can do. So the knowledge will be better in the general public. And then, we will see like I think we will also see a big change in how people use search engines. Like in the past, many people used Google and just Google, and now we will see this traffic shift towards people asking ChatGPT or Perplexity directly.
I find myself hardly ever using regular search anymore. Yeah, I just use AI, Yeah. Um, let me ask you this. For a person, an author, a coach, an entrepreneur, maybe slightly older, and not that familiar with AI, but knows that everybody's using it and that feels like, things are moving on without them. What would your best advice be to a person like that, Christine?
Oh, well, you have to you have to play in the sandbox in order to experience it and realize, and just like you said, and we'll reiterate it again because I guess the more you say something, then it really sinks in with people. Garbage in, garbage out, right?
Hmm.
So just pretend as if you are like a director and you're giving specific direction to an actor, to someone who's on set or on a stage, and you want to be as specific as possible, but start with something that you already know. So start with something that where you already know the answer, and you can just start by massaging and by asking ChatGPT or Perplexity what you choose what you want to use. I was in Perplexity land for a long time. I called it the more sophisticated uncle of ChatGPT, but then something happened with ChatGPT. It changed,
Yes.
and I was like, I don't know what you did, girl, but you look fabulous. So I
I'm the
came
same
back to
way.
Chat,
They
right?
came out with ChatGPT 5 and it's way different. And I had gone away from ChatGPT for a while and then I'm
Yeah.
back. I'm using ChatGPT 5 a lot now.
Yeah. And
So
my
yeah.
poor Perplexity is like, I miss you. Where are you? And I'm like, no, I'm going over here. So start off small, but start off with things that you already pretty much know the answer to, right? And try it, test it out and see. And
Mhm.
I also say too, it used to be as somebody who works with people's branding and marketing, I used to say, Google yourself to see what comes up. Now I say chat GPT yourself,
Mhm.
put your name in there, say tell me about this person, put your name, and if it's like Sue Smith, put your name and your profession, and see what ChatGPT comes up with, because that is, like you said, more and more people are using ChatGPT to do search, so make sure that you're searchable.
Cool. Okay. And then Kenny.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to seniors, I would say the main thing is really understanding the basics. I would say really understanding what AI is and understanding the importance of it. So, like a lot of the time, seniors will be like, a lot of the time they struggle with tech stuff. I mean, I help my parents all the time with tech stuff. I know they're listening in, so I just wanted to give my parents a shout out. And when it comes to really just focusing on the basics and being able to really explain things to them properly, I find is really, really, really important. And I feel that, really explaining what AI does really helps them. And it's something ChatGPT is very simple if you make it simple. And it's something that, parents and grandparents and great grandparents can pick up very simply. And a lot of the time, and like, let's be honest, they're not going to use it to the levels that we would use it. It's going to be very simplified. It's like they may
Right.
need, a recipe on something, or they may need to know about, something that's happening in a certain part of the world. It might be something as simple. So it's a lot more, if you really look at it, it's a much more, I would say, robust Google in terms of breaking down the information in one-stop shop, where, like, if you go on Google and you have to click on an article or whatnot. So it makes it a lot easier for them in that sense. So I would say it's very simple to really pick up on, what it may be and what it is and stuff. So yeah, that's what I would say in a nutshell. It's just really, really simple and really explaining what it is and what it does. And yeah, that's pretty much how I would break it down to them.
Awesome. Martin, how about you?
I would say the first sentence when you start a chat should be something like act as an expert about the topic that you want to talk about. And that, especially with the newer models now, will give the AI enough context, so it will give you a really good answer for your question. And one thing that I really like is also when I know the rough direction where I want to go, ask it, what would this look like in reality, or what should I do? Maybe it's a weight loss program that you or like some exercise program, or you're looking for recipes, or give me recipes with without a special ingredient, or with a special ingredient, with avocados, well, whatever it is, and then let yourself surprise what it comes up with. And oftentimes, if I know the general direction, and then I can pick from 5 or 10 options, or we can even tell the AI, give me 5 or 10 options, then I can say, like, yeah, this is an option I have not thought about, but this sounds really good.
Gary,
Awesome.
can I give you one? Can I give
Yes,
you
go
one more
ahead.
quick
Sure.
real world example? Okay, so I'm all over ChatGPT and AI stuff, right? My wife, who's a real estate agent, it's all new. It's like people that you're talking about. I don't know about this thing. I introduced her to ChatGPT. She now has the app on her phone. As a real estate agent, do you know how many emails she has to write and how many texts she needs to answer? So what she does is she saves her fingers. She turns on the microphone, dictates into it what she wants to say, kind of stumbles around a little bit because we are all like, then she tells the chat GPT, clean it up and make it better. And it sounds like she's this brilliant, she is a brilliant agent, but I mean, it does it all for her. It does it all for her. Then she can just copy and paste it and throw it into an email or a text. And it saves her so much time.
Hours.
We're talking about contractual stuff. We're talking about, legal stuff. And it's just amazing. So the app is a really powerful tool that people can use, and you don't even have to type into it. You can talk into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I use it all the time. I use it instead of my my GPS. I'll just talk into it and say, where do I, here's the address. Where do I
Where
turn?
am I?
Yeah. It says, yeah, go up 2 blocks and take a left. Oh, great, thanks. Anyway,
It's crazy.
we had another question come in here from Kevin. Let's make this the last one. We're just about out of time, guys. It's a question about creativity. AI builds upon logic, but it breaks in. But it is. This is. Let's see if I can make sense of this. Is breaks in logic that often makes one creative. Do you think AI will be programmed to deliberately play more without the logic context? Hope that makes sense. Christine, can you take a run at that?
Yeah, I don't think we're there yet. If I understand the question, okay. The human element our creativity, the things that we can, the things that we can create based on our life and our experiences and our emotions and all of that, that is, I don't think can be replicated at this point. The the cool thing about AI is that you can give it a set, you can give it an idea of what you want to create, let's say, and it gives you all these different options, things that you hadn't thought of. It might say, well, based on your passion for this, maybe you could create this, that, or the other. What about this? And it gives you these ideas that are creative, but they're just from but just from like a smorgasbord of things that you could do, right? So I don't think that it's creative on its own. I just think that it takes all of the possibilities and it goes, well, with what you're looking at, you could do this. You could, it helps you be creative.
I think it comes
It
back to
enhances
the,
your creativity. But
yeah, it comes back to that director thing that you were talking about, where
Yeah.
you need to direct it. It'll do whatever you want it to do. It'll give you whatever information you want back from it, but you have to learn how to tell it what you need, right?
Yeah.
Kenny, do you have a take on that?
Yeah, a lot of the time when it comes to, I would say, the whole element of, logic, to my knowledge, ChatGPT is evolving right now to the point that let's just say you're having a dinner party and you talk about, five people that are coming over, and then you talk about, who should sit where. ChatGPT is able to pick up, okay, Barbara should sit next to Jason because, they both get along and they both are A-type personalities and they may, really, really click, and then, Kevin should sit next to Lisa because, they may talk or have a common interest in, golf, for instance. So, ChatGPT, to my knowledge, is evolving to be able to get to the point where it can take situational questions and give you, solutions as to how it should be pretty much implemented.
Hmm. Cool. And
Yeah. So
Martin,
we're getting to that point.
yep. Martin, what about you?
Yeah, so I think creativity always comes from setting boundaries and trying to create something within certain boundaries. And these are something that you have to come up for with yourself. And then, as I said before, I really like using AI for giving me options and to express myself in a way that I was not able to express myself, or like maybe come up with ideas where I say like this idea would have taken me an hour or something to come up with myself. And because now I can choose from 10 different options, I can pick the one that I like best, and it saves so much time. And it still feels like, but I'm still the creative thought who says like maybe combine idea number 3 and idea number 7 and put them together, and that's where the human element of creativity comes in. So it's not about creativity; it's more than a bit of a taste, essentially, where you're the judge of what you actually want the final result to look like.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, listen, you guys, we have run out of time. And so I want to thank all of the panelists for being here today, taking their time to come and give us their insights. It's been amazing. And so keep in mind, everybody, that the AI Writing Summit 3.0 is brought to you by High Level. And so be sure to check out the special presentations on the dashboard, and also be sure to sign up for the raffle tomorrow. Lisa is going to put up a QR code. You can scan that QR code and get registered for the raffle. And there's also buttons all over the website to sign up for that raffle as well. So be sure you do that. And then also, please don't forget to grab your copy of the AI Writing Summit 3.0 Gold Pass. It'll give you lifetime access to all the recordings, all the transcripts from the entire summit, all the keynote interviews and panel discussions, as well as the special presentations, and over $6,000 worth of courses, masterclasses, workshops, and prompt engineering tutorials, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so, trust me, there's a lot of stuff here. By listening to it live, you're never going to get it all. And so really the thing to do is grab that Gold Pass. So click on the link that Elisa has put in the chat box and go grab your Gold Pass right now before life gets in the way. And then be sure to check us out tomorrow morning. We're going to be back on at 9 a.m. Pacific with a deep dive into ethical dimensions of AI-assisted creation, ownership, attribution, and artistic integrity. So that should be a good one. So again, thanks everybody for being here and taking the time to come and give us your insights. And everybody, we will see you in the morning. And so awesome.
Thanks,
Will
Carrie.
talk soon. Christine,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Touch soon.
Thank you.